throw away every happy ending take you've seen about The Boys finale. Because what you watched on that screen, that wasn't the real ending. That was the corporate ending. The one Amazon bought, packaged, and force-fed to you with a smile. While every other channel's out here crying about Butcher dying with Huey's hand in his, and acting like Homelander getting beat with a crowbar is some kind of satisfying payoff. We're not doing that here. Because we've got the documents, the leaks, the stuff that came straight out of the writer's room itself. The original screenplay that Eric Kripke was forced to tear up at the last minute, under direct producer pressure. And trust me, what that script contained would have shattered you completely. It would have flipped Huey and Ryan's entire fate 180 degrees. So buckle in, because what you're about to hear is a genuine, full-scale catastrophe that never made it to your screen. To really understand the scale of what went down behind those closed doors, we need to rewind a little. Specifically to Kripke's own comments, the ones that dropped almost immediately after the finale aired, clearly because he knew the backlash was coming. Kripke went on record and said basically, if you're waiting for laser fights and brawls, you're watching the wrong show. We were building characters. Cool. Great. Very diplomatic of you, Eric. But here's the thing. The leaks tell a completely different story. Because Kripke didn't choose to write a soft, emotionally tidy ending. He was pressured into it. The original script? It had zero emotional comfort. Zero cushioning. Zero hand-holding. And that's where things get genuinely terrifying. Look at this, because this deserves to be read like scripture. In the original draft of Episode 8, the White House battle doesn't end with Kimiko neutering Homelander's powers, while Butcher tearfully beats him with a crowbar, like some kind of broken man finally getting his moment. That's not what Kripke wrote. What Kripke actually wrote was this: Homelander discovers the soup genocide virus trap, and in a moment of absolute unhinged psychotic rage, he grabs Ryan, his own son, and flies him straight into outer space to kill him with his bare hands because he felt betrayed. Kripke wanted to show us the absolute apex of Homelander's psychological sickness, that this man, this thing, would sacrifice his only child in seconds to protect his own ego, his narcissism, his pride. And Amazon looked at that scene and said, absolutely not. Forget it. Because if Ryan dies there, they lose the golden card they're counting on for spin-offs, derivative projects, and expanded universe content through 2030. Ryan isn't a character to them anymore. He's a business asset, and assets don't get killed off in season finales. But that's not even the worst of it. Remember that scene everyone talked about? Mary Moreau, Emma, and Jordan jumping into a Vought transport truck and fleeing to Canada? Cute little escape moment, right? Wrong. That wasn't written that way at all. Mary Moreau wasn't supposed to run. Mary Moreau was supposed to walk into the White House and use her terrifying blood control ability to detonate Homelander's veins from the inside out. In the original plan, the soups destroy each other, and it's Mary who lands the killing blow. That was the vision. But Gen V got cancelled. Just like that, a production decision, no warning. And suddenly the writers had to shove 3 fully developed characters into a cargo truck and ship them to Canada with zero resolution. They called it Preserve Genetic Assets for Stan Edgar, which sounds like something out of a dystopian sci-fi novel, but that's apparently what passes for character writing when the business side takes the wheel. And the worst part? Those characters are basically being held in story limbo, frozen, waiting to be defrosted whenever Amazon needs to milk another season out of the franchise. But none of that even comes close to what they did to Butcher and Huey. Hold on to something, because this is where it gets genuinely sick. We all watched the soft-focus golden hour version. Huey shoots Butcher in self-defense. Butcher dies peacefully holding his hand and whispering, "This is the ending I deserve." And then Huey goes off to open a cassette tape shop with pregnant Annie and names their kid Robin after his dead ex-girlfriend. Wholesome. Tidy. Basically a Hallmark movie with gore. That script was written under direct threat from producers. In the deleted original, Joe Kessler and the cancer aren't just background noise haunting Butcher's mind. They own him completely. There's no hesitation, no ghost of Lenny pulling him back from the edge. Kessler wins. And Butcher? In that version, Butcher kills Huey inside the Oval Office. He becomes the final villain of the entire show. The thing the series spent 5 seasons warning you about, that if you fight monsters long enough, you become one. And then Butcher dies alone. In the last shot, surrounded by the bodies of both the 7 and the boys. Because he released the virus, and it worked, and it destroyed everything. That ending would have been the most brutal, psychologically devastating series finale in the history of television. Full stop. It would have proven, with zero mercy, that the monster you spend your whole life fighting will hollow you out until there's nothing left but the monster itself. But Amazon said no, because they need you to close your laptop smiling, not staring at the ceiling, questioning your will to live. Happy audiences buy merchandise. Happy audiences come back for spin-offs. Devastated audiences write Reddit posts, and Reddit posts don't pay for The Boys Mexico. And here's where the conspiracy gets ugly. The actual reason they killed that ending isn't just audience comfort. It's pure, calculated franchise architecture. Think about it. If Butcher kills Huey and releases the virus, and Homelander murders Ryan, the entire universe is dead. The lore collapses. There's nothing left to build on. The Boys Mexico has no foundation. Vought Rising has no connective tissue. The whole expanded universe becomes pointless before it even starts. So what Amazon actually did was engineer a finale specifically designed to keep the engine running. They kept Ryan alive and dangling, morally unresolved, no clear direction, because Ryan is going to be the central villain of the Mexico spin-off. He's got Homelander's raw power and the genetic pedigree of a weapon. Stan Edgar's going to scoop him up in the new series. It's practically already written. And those 97% on Rotten Tomatoes, the Reddit consensus seems to think that number's been propped up, a marketing balloon. Fans who noticed the structural hollowness of the finale started comparing it to Game of Thrones Season 8. Not in terms of quality across the whole run, but in terms of the ending feeling like it served business logic over narrative logic. 7 years of psychological buildup. 7 years of this show doesn't do comfort. And they cashed all of that in for a clean exit that protects spin-off viability through 2027. So yeah, they got us. For 90 minutes they got us. The cassette shop, the baby named Robin, Butcher's peaceful death. All of it is just set dressing, emotional wallpaper slapped over a production betrayal that happened months before that finale ever aired. The capitalist machine that the boys spent 5 seasons satirizing, it won. Not on screen, behind the screen. They shut down the expensive veteran cast, locked their expensive contracts into a tidy ending, and handed the franchise's future to cheaper, newer actors in cheaper, newer shows they can bleed dry at their own pace. The deleted ending proves one thing and one thing only. The Boys died as a victim of the exact same corporate machinery it spent its entire run fighting against. And Kripke, whether under pressure or not, sold the ending in the last 15 minutes. So I need to know what you think. Drop it in the comments. Would you have wanted Butcher's dark ending? Watching him kill Huey and burn the world down? And do you actually think Ryan's being set up as the next generation's worst nightmare in The Boys Mexico? Hit the like button. Subscribe. Because this is the only place that's actually cracking open what happens inside those studio walls. Not just what they let you see on the other side of the screen. This was Drama Crypt. We expose what's rotting behind the camera. Peace.